Hello, everybody. How you doing out there? I know it's been a while since I've done any shows at all, and it's definitely been a long time since I've gone live. So somebody let me know if the level of the microphone sounds good because I'm using a relatively new microphone. So Patty, someone let me know if the mic level is good. Sorry, that's shaking around. Went back to the green screen, so it's been a while. Tony, I'm so glad you're on. I got both Tonys on tonight. Tony Wright and Tony Danelli. Tony, this is the first time I've seen you in the chat, so that's exciting because you guys have heard me mention Tony Danelli before. He's one of my research partners on Zodiac stuff, and but with Tony and I, we've definitely come up with some great new stuff. Of course, the Fortran words and lots of stuff that Tony's pointed out that I've had in different videos. Um, Sobek, how are you doing? Hey, Brant. Paprika, how are you? Do I sound okay? Okay, Tony says he can hear me fine. That's good. I'm definitely going to start with something I wasn't planning on starting with, but I'm more than happy to do so. So I think it's great that Tony Danelli is on because he can back me up on this. This is a good question. Mark Winter, Mark, are you on? Because I'm putting your question up here. This is something we're gonna nip this in the bud tonight. This is gonna be fun. So Mark, I hope you are tuning in. But if you're not, you had to go and you can watch it later. I definitely wanted to get this question out of the way from Mark Winter because this is going to be interesting. I'm going to read your question, Mark. So I hope you're on and you're watching this, but you might be replaying it later if you couldn't join the live. Mark says, "I'll ask now in the hope you see this. Spoke to Tom Voigt recently, and he claims Don Cheney was 6 feet 3 inches tall. Have you dug up anything that notes Don's height?" Well, this is a great question, Mark, and I'm glad you asked it and want to clear this up. I can't believe this is even being still talked about. So the first thing I'll bring up about Tom Voigt is he was quoted in a book called Unmasked by Robert Graysmith about the time that he interviewed Don Cheney in person at the Hood River Inn in Hood River, Oregon. And Mr. Voigt quotes directly in that book by Graysmith that Don Cheney was right at 6 feet tall. But to go more directly to your question, Mark, let's pull this little document up here. And it's called a DDR 214. And this was Don Cheney's separation document from the Air Force when Don Cheney was in the Air Force. This is a totally legitimate document. Um, I know Tony Danelli can back me up because he got the same document from a different method, but the same source, which is the government records. And this document clearly shows that Don Cheney was 72 inches tall. Now that's exactly 6 feet. And if anyone thinks that I've altered this document, I'll give you $1,000 cash if you can prove that I altered it. This shows that in 1957, when Don Cheney's out of the Air Force, he was 72 inches tall. So I don't think he grew another 3 inches after he got out of the Air Force. So that is his DDR 214. I have it. Anyone else can get this document through the government, and it'll cost a lot less than $1,000. So if anybody can prove that I altered it, I got $1,000 for you. It shows that Don Cheney was 6 feet tall. That's end of story. The government didn't get it wrong. It's got his eye color green. It's got his weight at 180, which of course he probably gained some weight by the time of the murders. But this is his DDR 214. You can't argue with that. Everything else is right on here. Has address in Bakersfield correct, 1308 M Street. Had that he went to Bakersfield College and what he studied. Everything else about him is correct. So why would they get his height wrong? He's 67 inches tall. So this is 72 inches tall. That's 6 feet right there. Height 7'2". Those are inches. He's not 7 feet 2. He wasn't taller than Brian Hartnell. So I'm glad we can put this to bed. So if anybody wants to argue with the military, go ahead. But Don Cheney was 6 feet tall, not 6'3", as Mr. Voigt implies. So sorry, got your hand in the cookie jar there, Tom. And remember, Tom Voigt's the guy that thought it was a good idea to make merchandise with victims' names on it, like the Stein, the Paul Stein that has an image of Paul Stein on it. I'm sure his family's getting part of the proceeds on that, by the way. So just remember the source that you're hearing this from. But I am really glad you asked that question, Mark. And that's what I dug up, his DDR 214. He was 6 feet tall exactly. So there it is. Hopefully he puts that to bed, but I really do appreciate that question because that shouldn't be lingering out there. And it shouldn't anymore because it's gone. Hey, Jared, how are you? Good seeing you. So anyway, get back to the main point of the show. And that is a little trip I took to Vallejo. And it was very interesting, of course. And one of the first things I did, I was on a work trip. We had some properties outside of San Francisco, and I didn't have much time, but I at least wanted to go to Vallejo and check out. The first thing I wanted to see was Arthur Lee Allen's house. And you'll see on the right, here's an image of Arthur Lee Allen. He's actually in the back of this house, and it's 32 Fresno Street in Vallejo. This is a photograph I took right here. This is the side. There's a door right here on the side. And then there's another one in the back. So if you see this image up here of Arthur Lee Allen at the top left, there's a door like right behind him. And that's where, she conducted an interview with him. And there's another interview with Arthur Lee Allen on YouTube where another guy, a gentleman from a TV station interviews him. But this is a picture I took of the front of the house. And it's creepy. But, the cool thing about going to Vallejo is seeing how close everything is together. I mean, how close Arthur Lee Allen lived to the old IHOP, and I'll bring up a picture of that, which is now a Mexican restaurant. But he literally could walk there. And then when you consider the fact that Darlene Ferrin worked at that IHOP, not at the time of her murder, she was working at Terry's restaurant, which is gone now. I don't even know what's in its place, and I'll bring up some pictures of that and some more of Arthur Lee Allen's house. But it was creepy, you could definitely feel it. The old mailbox is there. You can't really see it too well here, but that's the mailbox in that bottom left picture. You can still see the 32. That almost looks like the original mailbox at Arthur Lee Allen's house. But hold on one second. I'm going to bring up some more. I had to, I can only put up 10 slides at a time, and then I got to go back. Yeah, where that car is parked is like right where you see Allen in the back, where that VW is parked is like right in the back of the house and just real close to where you can see Arthur Lee Allen. Hold on, that's the wrong slide. I want to pull this one up. I'll get this one later. Sepher, are you out there? I haven't seen Sepher yet. Keep pulling up the wrong ones. Anyway, I'll go back. I'm going to go back around to the IHOP, but I'll start at the beginning. And this is one I took at Lake Herman Road. And this is just, I don't know, 5 days ago I was there, and you can see that's my rent car. This is Lake Herman Road. It's really small. I mean, of course, this is where Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday were murdered on December 20th, 1968. And it is small. I'm glad I went there myself because I've seen YouTube videos and stuff about it. And some people claim it's a little bigger than it actually is. It's not. It is really little. I mean, from the vantage point that I took this picture back pointing towards the rent car, I'm standing right where the Faraday's Rambler would have been. So it's really small. I mean, you can't get more than maybe 5 or 6 cars in there. It's stunningly a small area. And it is true what they say when you're traveling down that road on Lake Herman Road, you would drive right into it. So when they were there that night, any other car coming with headlights would probably be shining right on them because the road kind of bends right there. So I thought that was really, really interesting to go there and just get a perspective on it. And there's signs over there and stuff that people would paint the Zodiac cross circle logo on. They keep fixing that sign that people are doing that to because they don't want people coming by there like me just gloating around the area, but it's still the same. I mean, this is one of the few sites you can still go to, and it's pretty much how it was back in the day, just like Blue Rock Springs. And I'll show some stuff I took at Blue Rock Springs. I did not go to Lake Berryessa. I know that's changed a lot. I didn't really have time. I wanted to, but I know with all the erosion and the the height of the water, the depth of the water has changed over the years. So it'd probably be pretty hard, I would assume, to kind of get to the real close to where the Lake Berryessa attack was. But Lake Herman Road is just how it was. It's still kind of rural, but not as rural as it was back in the day. But it's very close to Blue Rock Springs. I was really surprised at how short a time it took me to get from Lake Herman Road and then drive over to Blue Rock Springs. Really close together. So keep pulling up the wrong slide. Sorry. I'll come back to some of those later. But anyway, here is, I'll make this bigger. These are some shots of Blue Rock Springs Park. This is the sign where you drive in. Of course, this is the second canonical Zodiac attack, July 4th, going into July 5th, 1969, where Mike Mougeot and Darlene Ferrin were attacked on the evening of July 4th and going into July 5th. And you can see beautiful place. It really was big, nice bathrooms. This grass is like really green. I'm kind of close right here where this picture of me is, where the attack happened. I know that parking lot's probably changed a lot over the years. Of course, Blue Rock Springs Golf Course is on the other side of the road, but it's a really, really nice park. And it was just surprising how close it was to Lake Herman Road. And I'm going to pull up a picture now. It shows the one on the right is more how it looked back when the attack happened on July 4th, 69. You can see how the cars are here. I think it was somebody, of course, when they were out there late at night, they were the only car there until the Zodiac pulled up. Of course, there was the car that pulled up before the Zodiac did, if you remember how things played out at Blue Rock Springs. But somewhere in here is kind of where I am now, but it's hard to tell over the years. Of course, the parking lot has changed, but that's a couple pictures of Blue Rock Springs. Of course, as soon as I got out of my rent car, it reeked of weed. I mean, these dudes were parked over like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 cars over, and they were high as kites. It was funny. I mean, it would knock you down. It was so strong at Blue Rock Springs when I got there. But let me pull up a few more. Take this one away. Take this one away. Green screen's acting a little funny. I want to put this one up real quick. I know I'm kind of jumping around. Sorry, it's just kind of the way I did it. Herschel, man, how you doing? Good seeing you on, man. Everybody's here tonight. I'm glad you're on, Herschel. Herschel, you were my inspiration. I mean, you started it all for me down the Zodiac Trail. And yeah, we do need to get out here one day. I still haven't, like I mentioned, I still have not gone to Lake Berryessa, so we could do that and definitely go into the city, because I didn't get a chance to go down to the Presidio or anything like that either. But we need to do it, man. But I'm glad seeing you on the chat tonight. It's awesome. So here is a picture of the Vallejo Plunge from Vallejo High School that I took. I think I took this on Sunday. But of course, Arthur Lee Allen was a member of the Vallejo Plunge, which was the Vallejo High swim team, dive team that Arthur Lee Allen was on when he was at Vallejo High. So he was a member of what they call the Vallejo Plunge. And this building looks original to when the school was built, So this definitely was here when Arthur Lee Allen was going to Vallejo High, which is really close to Arthur Lee Allen's house at 32 Fresno Street. He could have easily walked to school from where he lived at 32 Fresno. So I thought that was cool to get a picture of the Vallejo Plunge that Arthur Lee Allen was definitely a prominent member of. He was an outstanding diver. He won state when he was going to Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo. So he was definitely an accomplished trampoline guy and a great diver. They said he did not look real good when he walked up to the diving board, but once he did his actual dive, he was incredible. Like, he was a highly accomplished diver. So I'm sure he did not expect things to go the way they did in his life, but they did. And just kind of creepy seeing being around where Arthur Lee Allen was. Yeah, go get some more here. StreamYard is so slow. Hey, Evan. Hey, Drew, once I get paid, I'm buying your book. Thanks, Evan. Also, I will watch this tomorrow when I have a chance. Best wishes. Thanks, Evan. I appreciate you leaving that note. Let me see. Oh, hey, Flashcraft. What time is it in Australia? I know it's maybe in the morning. Okay, I want to add this one real quick. So this is a picture I took at Tuolumne and Springs Road, which of course is where the Zodiac made the phone call after the Blue Rock Springs Park attack. I don't know where the phone booth was, but this is the street sign here that says Springs Road in Tuolumne, which is Tuolumne is a pretty long road that goes through Vallejo, and this is actually pretty close to Arthur Lee Allen's house too. Definitely walkable. I think you go up Tuolumne, you'll go up to Tennessee Street, which is about 5 blocks. Like if you're looking, like here's the stop sign on the right. If you keep going up this way, and I don't know what direction that is exactly, maybe northeast. I don't know, but something like that. But if you keep going up Tuolumne here from this intersection, I think you go down about 4 or 5 streets to Tennessee Street, take a left onto Tennessee, and then you'll have like four or five streets. You'll be right at Fresno Street, and then Arthur Lee Allen's house is the third or fourth on the right hand side. So easily walkable for anyone going to Arthur Lee Allen's house from that payphone. So he lived really close to it. But and this is a on the left, this is a shot going back down to Tuolumne, I think towards the south or the more southerly direction. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing because the deal in Vallejo is it's really hasn't changed much. There's not a whole lot of new things there. It's pretty much as it was back there in the Zodiac crimes. I mean, not much has changed. I mean, you have all those houses are pretty much the same. Um, the restaurants, like I said, are there just like they were back in 68, 69, 70. So that's what's really cool about it. Let me see what this one is. I'm trying to find some of the IHOP. I'll pull the map up real quick just to show what I was just talking about. So here's the map of Vallejo. You see Springs Road right here on my right, and then that comes down into Tuolumne just above where it says Georgia Street, and then you start heading up Tuolumne to Tennessee, and then that third or fourth row street right in here on Tennessee is where Arthur Lee Allen lives. So you see, pretty close from Springs Road, Tuolumne, go up to Tennessee, right there. Arthur Lee Allen's house is right in there. So he lived really close. It's amazing how close everything was together. Let me get back up here real quick. So I'll put this back on. So here is the IHOP, which is literally, I mean, a short walk from 32 Fresno, where Arthur Lee Allen lives. So I'm sure, frequented the IHOP a lot. So now it's a Mexican restaurant. You can see the green back here. I'm kind of close to where the picture was taken on the right of Darlene Farron. That's Darlene Farron in the middle. That's her second husband on the left, Dean Farron. And the gentleman on the right, I believe, also worked at the IHOP. So Darlene was a waitress at this IHOP for a while. I know she was in 67. Of course, at the time of her murder, she was working at Terry's restaurant, which is further away, and Terry's is long gone. I don't even know what's there now, but that's where Darlene met Dean Farron, who was a cook at that IHOP, and that was actually Dean's alibi, which he was a cook on the night of the murder. I don't know if it was at IHOP or another place, but he was working the evening of her murder, and that was his alibi. But you can see Darlene in the middle, and I'm really close to here. So that IHOP building is exactly as it was back then. It's just now a Mexican place. Actually, the food's pretty decent, and hasn't changed much at all. You can see that little light is in the same area. The little brick wall is the same. It's the same exact building, and it's small in there. There's not a whole lot of tables, so it's like just thinking how much Arthur Lee Allen probably went and ate there because, like I said, he wouldn't even have to drive. It is such a short walk from 32 Fresno. How well he must have known Darlene when she was working there as a waitress. I mean, it would have been unavoidable. I mean, Vallejo's small anyway, but living that close to the restaurant, probably just going there for even small things because he lives so close. I mean, if he was going to a place like Terry's, he'd have to drive a little bit, but here it's just a short little walk, even for Allen. So it's amazing to wonder how much he probably did know her. And I did want to suggest to the people at the Mexican restaurant that they should have something like the Arthur Lee Allen Acapulco dinner, the Don Cheney combination with the barrel chested Puff Shell or something like that, because I know those guys probably ate there quite a bit when it was an IHOP. Let me know if the audio still sounds good, because I'm still kind of playing around with this microphone. Let's see if I get this picture from the inside. So we got 6. It's got to take a few of these off real quick. Sorry. Create a little room at StreamYard. Okay. Let me see what I did with this. Number 7. That's another one of Lake Herman Road. I've got over on my Subscribe I've got some live video of all these sites, which are pretty cool. I walked around and took some pretty good live video with the short time I had. I think it came out pretty good. I can't find the rest of these slides. I'm just struggling tonight. Sorry. Let's see, number 22. Cannot find it. Okay. Finally. These things are really dragging. I can't get it to come on. Hold on. So anyway, yeah, Vallejo, really cool. Definitely not much has changed. I definitely wanted to go up to the door where Arkley Allen used to live and see if they'd let me poke around, but I don't think they would have done it. They had a couple neighbors out already, kind of looking a little weary of anyone driving by, because they probably get that all the time. But I was surprised how that the high school hasn't changed much. Let me put this one back up because I can't find the rest of these. But anyway, that was the side door at Allen's place, and this is the one where the lady interviews him. And I know there's another one where it shows the Carmen Gia that he had, which is pretty interesting. And then Blue Rock was cool. So yeah, next time I hope I definitely make it out to Lake Berryessa and try to see what there is to see out there. But I definitely didn't have the time to try to track down where the site was. But definitely will do that in the future. Let me go back and look at the rest of the questions. Thanks, Tony. Bible group. Good seeing you. Blessings will happen. Appreciate it. Good seeing you. It's already tomorrow in Australia. Yeah, I want to go back to this. Tony, I have a PDF of Cheney's DDR that I got directly from the military. I can email it to anyone who disputes his height. Thank you, Tony. And Tony is a Vietnam veteran. And I love my Vietnam veterans. Tony's a solid guy. So Tony was in the military, proudly serving in Vietnam as a combat medic. And I think he knows what he's talking about when he's talking about documents from the military. So there he is. If anybody wants that DDR, you get it directly from Tony. They got it directly from the government. If anyone wants to dispute that height on Don Cheney, it's 6 feet tall, not 6'1", not 6'2", not 6'3", 6 feet. What height did Cecilia Shepard give at Lake Berryessa? She said 2 inches taller than Deputy Dave Collins, which makes Zodiac at Lake Berryessa how tall? 6 feet. Sean, hey Drew, are you in the Bay Area? If you are, I'd love to buy you a beer. You know, I just was, Sean. I didn't know you were in the Bay Area. Shoot, I would have made time for that if I knew you were. I did not know you were in the Bay Area. What part? I would have definitely made time for that. Yeah, Tony said he leads her out back to see his car. Yeah, I think that's what he did. And then she interviews him inside, and then you can see his dog. Hey, Corey. Yeah, Anna says, interesting. The two sites are fairly close together. I pictured them quite a distance away. No, I was stunned how short of time it took me to get from Lake Herman Road over to Blue Rock Springs Park. It seemed like less than 10 minutes. It literally did. I'm trying to find what I did with the interior of the restaurant because it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just the same as it was. There he is. Where you been? Yep, discharge papers. Was it 57, Tony, or 58? I think he got out in late 57. Yep, those are the discharge papers. And Tony, have you ever known the military to make a mistake like someone's height on their DDR 214? You know what, Tony? What do you think the odds are that the military would screw up someone's height on a document that important? I'd say probably zero. Don't think it's going to happen. So anyway, yeah, that's where he was out back. And then let me remove this one. I'm struggling tonight. Sorry. But yeah, really close. I got some live video I'll put up. Actually, I'll put those videos from Subscribe Star up here in another week or so. And you can see the live video I took of the inside of the restaurant and how it looked. But it was pretty cool. Went by the police station. Police station's really close to where Arthur Lee Allen lived too. I mean, he was right at ground zero at 32 Fresno Street for just for everything. That's the Blue Rock Springs Park or Lake Herman Road. That was just ground zero right there at 32 Fresno. So, I can see why people would want to try to look for a suspect around where the payphone was at Tuolumne and Springs Road. It's just so convenient to have made that call from there and to go back to wherever you were living. But 1958, he said. Tony says, "Oh no, not a chance of a mistake. Not a chance. The military's not going to screw that up. They're just not going to get someone's height wrong. 6 feet tall. Hate to break it to anyone, but it's good to put that to bed. I mean, it took a while to get that documented. Actually, it took Tony a while. I got it expedited, but I know it took Tony a little longer to get it. His copy, but his copy is the same as the one that I have. But it's also interesting his signature on that DDR 214. Tony, I mean, it's got a definitive right hand slant to it. On Don Cheney's signature on the DDR 214. So, and there's a lot of other interesting stuff on there as well. And his test. You see the test? You look at the test stuff on there, Tony, on the DDR. I think the only thing he scored not well in was administrative, but everything else, electronics, the math stuff, were like 95s. He's smart guy, highly intelligent. I think 3 of the 4 main testing that was shown on the DDR were were mid 90s out of 100 on all those groups. And then also he was at more Air Force bases in Harlingen. I mean, at least 2 or 3 in California and 2 in Texas, including, Harlingen was the main one, but he was at different Air Force bases. So no problem finding the wing walkers. I mean, even if it was buying them on a base later, I know civilians could buy them, but he would have definitely been familiar with the wing walker being in the Air Force for 2 years. And of course, what else did Cheney have when he was in the Air Force? Celestial navigation training, which kind of brings in Michael Cole's theory about how some of the murders were kind of trying to line up with the solstices and stuff like that. Of course, you had the compass rose over Mount Diablo and magnetic north, and being familiar with the stars and navigating. That's what Don Cheney was training to be in the Air Force, was a Air Force navigator. That's specifically what he was in the Air Force to do, is learn how to navigate, and had deep electronics training too, not just this stuff with the aircraft, but he had specifically had electronics training on top of everything else. So that's just a lot of good stuff in that document, and wish I had it sooner than I got it. And I know Tony thinks the same. BF Golf, not a huge Cheney and Zodiac guy, but I think that the composite, the girls at Berryessa, is a spot on match to Cheney. Yeah, interesting you said that. And hey, people are welcome not to always agree with me. I don't try to convince everyone out there. I just put it out, what's out there about him. I mean, and I'm learning not to just go with the odds. I mean, I can say how unusual it is for Don Cheney to have a relative with the last name Paradise with that spelling, but what I'm learned is that that's what you should expect. If you have the right thing going, he's going to have things like that. The fact that he went to the same little junior college as Paul Avery in 1952. Again, I'm not going to get into the odds of that, but these things just play out naturally. If you're on the right course, I'll say that. But yeah, I agree with you on the guy we call the voyeur. He has that squinty look, and the first person that pointed that out to me was Mark Stewart. Professor Mark Stewart found that picture from the Void interview of Don Cheney and put it up against the voyeur from Lake Berryessa, as we call him, the voyeur, because he was the guy spotted looking at the 3 college girls. And it does look a lot alike. Somebody else actually asked me about that like a week ago, so it was really fresh on my mind. Drew, will Zodiac be solved? I don't know. I hopefully think it will. I mean, not to everyone's satisfaction, though. I think the odds of the DNA being found in this case are very low because we don't have a Golden State sexual assault type case here. The Zodiac didn't sexually assault anyone, so you've got weak DNA from the letters, and the Vallejo PD sent off for all their letters for testing 3 years ago. No one's heard a word about it since. So not much chance of it being solved to everyone's satisfaction. I think it's going to be debated, but hopefully it would be at least solved to some reasonable amount of satisfaction. I mean, me personally, this is Arthur Lee Allen and Don Cheney all day long. I'm sorry. That's just where the evidence shows me. There's just too much weight with Cheney and Allen together. There's too much. I mean, people can talk about it, some unknown we've never heard, and that's fine. But the weight of Cheney and Allen together, I mean, Avery, Paradise, the misspelled words for phonetic effect, the watch, it's way too much between these two guys not to have been involved in this. I mean, it's just not. The bloody shirt witnessing at Seaside of ALA intrigues me. I don't remember that. The bloody shirt at Seaside? Not sure what that is. Oh, you're talking about the Sea Waters. I don't. Oh, sorry, screwed that up. She is talking about the Sea Waters spotting Arthur Lee Allen at Gaviota Beach. I know maybe it's Gavita Beach. That's the way Ross pronounces it, but that's what she's talking about. I don't really believe that story personally. Nothing against the Sea Waters, but I don't really think that Arthur Lee Allen would be dumb enough to go kill 2 people on a beach and then get in a car with kids in it with blood, covered in blood. That's a little far fetched. Flashcraft. What was the reason for Cheney's discharge from the military? If the documents are now available, yeah, we have the document. It was a normal honorable discharge. He did his 2 years. It's kind of unusual that he didn't continue with what program he was on because Air Force invested a lot into him. But it was an honorable discharge. He just decided to stop at a 2 year stopping point, which was fine, and he served his 2 years, so it was honorable. So there's nothing strange about his separation from the military. He wasn't thrown out or anything like that. So yeah, here's Tony. 3 or 4 were 95. Yes, 3 or 4 of the testing groups were 95s out of 100. So smart guy. The only one that wasn't was like administrative stuff, like I don't know, typing or something. So which is kind of interesting. Of course, John Cheney was a mechanical engineer. So I think that was around, what was it, Tony, like a 75 or something? He's kind of low grade and administrative, but 3 or the 4 of the groups were 95s. So that's very interesting. Smart guy. Thanks, Bible Group. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll put up some more slides later. I was having trouble with this tonight because to put them on StreamYard, you got to put it into PowerPoint and do all this. This is Vallejo. Let me see. You know what you said. Vallejo said to have a population of 122,000 a day. It was a lot less 50 years ago. I'm sure it was like anywhere else. I mean, they did have the naval yard there. That that was the main place that people worked in Vallejo. They would work at the naval yard or in the Navy. So I'm sure it was smaller. But man, when you go around Vallejo, it does not. It looks like it hasn't changed at all. Other than some paint, you don't see these new shopping centers or anything or any new buildings whatsoever. The high school, Hogan is the same. Vallejo High is the same. They really just haven't changed. What are your views on Richard Gaikowski? Not there's nothing going for Richard Gaikowski as a Zodiac suspect, in my opinion, at all. I don't really see anything. Nothing. Geik is in a cipher. That's it. My name is in a cipher. My name is in the decoded 408 cipher, all linked together. I'm pretty sure I'm not the Zodiac. Other than that, Geik has nothing. Civil rights guy, claim mental illness all you want. I don't see this guy just targeting heterosexual couples, especially when he's gay. Why is he targeting heterosexual couples? I don't see anything for Gaikowski. Sorry, not at all. I think he's up there with Gary Post, actually, and Earl Van Best Jr. Two of the lowest, 3 of the lowest with those guys. But yeah, Vallejo's little. I mean, it's not much change at all. Let me go back up here. Just read a few more comments. Carmine, the DMV doesn't weigh a D measure you for your driver's license. You feel that in yourself on the application. That could be true about the DMV. I don't know. They have Arthur Allen's driver's license, and I know it says 6 feet on Allen on his driver's license, but maybe you do. But I can guarantee you this, and Tony can back me up. Military ain't going to take your word for your height. They're gonna put you up against a measuring tape or something. Military isn't going to do that. DMV might, but military sure isn't. So you can take it to the bank 6 feet tall. Take it to the bank and cash it. But yeah, I don't know. I think that is it's correct about the DMV. I think my height is wrong on my license. I'm definitely shorter than what it shows. Earl Van Best was too slender to be Zodiac. Yeah, Earl Van Best is terrible. He's terrible. The handwriting match that was supposed to be close for Earl Van Best turned out to be the preacher that married him. So is the preacher the Zodiac now? And then, what else did he say? Gary Stewart, the guy's son, said that he was exposed to the Mikado in China because he was in the military in China, stationed over there. Well, the funny thing about that is Japan. The Mikado is based in Japan, but it was banned in Japan because it was seen as offensive. It was banned in Japan for like 50 years. So there's no way that Earl Van Best Jr. could have seen the Mikado in Japan because it was strictly forbidden. Let's see. Tony, is in one of the ciphers straight across. Yeah, Tony is. How about Drew Beeson being in a cipher? How many Drew Beesons do you think are out there? Not that many. Drew Beeson is in the decoded 408 connected. That's not a common name, I can tell you, because it's mine. But yeah, you are right. DMV, yes. Military, no, no, no. Yes, that is coming from a veteran who knows all about it and knows about the VA and everything else. This is so true, Anna. Earl Van Best was just an opportunity for a relative to write a book. He was. I mean, I know he was involved in that. What is it? The ice cream murder or not murders, whatever they call it. The something I can't remember. Ross knows what it is. I know Ross couldn't make it tonight, but he knows about it. It's kind of interesting how the Earl Van Best abandoned Gary and all that kind of thing. And it was actually pretty well written with Susan Mustafa and all that. But all the Zodiac stuff was really just cut and paste from the files. There's nothing going for Earl Van Best Jr. as a Zodiac suspect. Zero. Oh, hey Lisa, I missed you. Hola to you. Thanks for all the good stuff. And yeah, I'm definitely going to get back into Braden mode here really soon. Yeah, and I saw Eric Eulis's latest video. Man, he's definitely hung up on that rim crew thing. The deal is we don't know for sure if that's DB Cooper's tie, and if it, I'm pretty sure it was his on the plane, but he did steal money. He could have stolen the tie. That tie could have come from anywhere. It isn't like DNA because DNA is part of your body. Your blood, your saliva is your DNA. A tie, a tie is still a non-living object. So I don't know. A lot of these guys are hung up on that DB Cooper tie for whatever reason. The tie was in Pittsburgh. That's interesting. At least for Braden because he did work for PPG, Pittsburgh Plate Glass, but. I don't have to debate DB Cooper because that's one case I have inside knowledge on. These are some great. Yeah, I think you said this earlier, Mark. North Vallejo seems to be an area of major interest. You're right. There is a North Vallejo, a South Vallejo, which is kind of interesting because Vallejo's not that big. But the part where Arthur Lee Allen lived at 32 Fresno, where the IHOP is and all that stuff, that's called Central Vallejo. And then Vallejo High is in what they call Central Vallejo. And then North, I don't know where North Vallejo starts, but there is a North Vallejo. But all the stuff, most of the people lived as far as Darlene Farron and Faraday. I think they like all the major players and the payphone at Springs Road in Tuolumne. All that stuff was in what they call Central Vallejo, not North. But there is a North, South, all that, which is kind of surprising because it's so small that they would have it all broken up like that. But they did. So you were right. DB Cooper, as I recall, smoked cigarettes. Too bad the FBI didn't save the butts. Yeah, it's hard to believe they didn't save them, even though there wasn't DNA back then. You think they would have saved them just if they found a suspect that was known to smoke the Raleigh filter tips that Cooper was smoking on that flight? But it's just highly odd to me that those cigarettes were destroyed. It makes you wonder. I think they discovered them after the fact. What do you think of who? You're talking about TH? Are you talking about Professor Horn? Not sure what you mean. TH? Maybe Professor Horn. Professor Horn's a friend of mine. It's him and I against the world. And I've never. We don't totally agree how these crimes played out, but they could definitely connect somewhere. And we both love making connections. And I know he loved my find when I found that Cheney and Avery were going to the same little junior college in 1952. I know he took notice of that, and I always appreciated his work. It's the hoax theory is outside of the box. It's something that over 50-year unsolved case needs, and I've always said that. So yeah, I like his work. I like the supplemental work done by Evan from Texas. A great guy, super smart, and just shows you you don't have to totally agree on something to get along with people. Definitely gonna put this up, Lisa. Raleigh cigarettes, high tar, just like Bench and Hedges. Ted B. Braden smoked in Vietnam, Laos missions. Yes, Ted Braden was definitely was a smoker of Benson and Hedges, and they are high tar. That's what Al Tyre protested to. That Ted Braden definitely smoked Benson and Hedges, and he also smoked a pipe in Vietnam. Because it was part of that sophisticated sophisticated look. I don't know what you're talking about. Crime Scope. Or anyone remember a Quincy ME episode? I used to watch Quincy. What about you, Patty? Did you ever watch Quincy? I used to watch that. I don't remember that episode though. Yes, Tony. Could have got the tie at the thrift store. A lot of people try to discount the thrift store because they would say, "Why would a tie that cheap have been there?" But I don't know. But those are good questions. I'm glad everybody tuned in tonight. I'm gonna run because the battery's getting low and I didn't plug it in because I've got it the way I set this up for the green screen. It's like so far I can't even plug it in. Uh, this weird contraption the way I got it set up. But yeah, I'll get some more of the slides up, and then I'm gonna put up the videos that I did of all the places since I didn't get all the photos up because I was having some trouble. Sorry about that, but I'm gonna get the photos and videos uh, uploaded here. It won't be live, but I'll just upload the videos that I took in Vallejo of the different sites. So hopefully everybody can enjoy that. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you have a good week. Thanks for being here.